and where he was and what he was doing.
After his 3-month journey, Harry is now back home and slowly getting back to full health.
The Ash Barty Playground officially opened in Ipswich today, honouring the 3-time Grand Slam champion where she grew up. Government hopes it will inspire thousands of young kids to stay active, a cause close to Barty's heart as she prepares to welcome her second child. Stay with us. Your weather forecast is next with Belinda Russell. But first, a look at what's happening in tonight's news at 6 with Georgie Gardner.
Hello, Natasha Beyersdorf with an NBN News update. Sweeping changes recommended as a damning report exposes the unchecked power of our major supermarkets. The quademic flu threat, the important message from doctors ahead of winter. Risk review, why experts are worried about the Golden Gate and Brooklyn bridges following the collapse of Baltimore. An appeal to pet owners to keep close watch on their animals as an Upper Hunter shelter reaches capacity. Plus, the happiest countries in the world. Where does Australia stand? And Newcastle horse trainer Chris Lee's out to emulate his father's success at the rich Golden Slipper. Join us for those stories and more coming up. NBN News tonight at 6.
Tipping Point has taken Australia by storm.
More edge-of-your-seat moments than any other game show.
Weeknights at 5 on 9.
It's the final days of the Mitsubishi factory clearance, and you're good to go with a $2,500 bonus on Outlander petrol, backed by Mitsubishi 1010. Hurry, offer ends 31st of March.
I'm just going for a break.
I want to break free. God knows I want to break free.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Surprise Prize is in full swing at Macca's, and this week's Surprise Prize draw is a chance to win karaoke with Ricky Lee.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win millions of prizes.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Join Energy Australia's Flexi Plan and get a $200 sign-up credit on your first electricity bill. Join Energy Australia online today or call 133 466.
Can a can of Glen 20 sort out the snotty lounge?
Can do.
Soccer stink?
Can do.
What about?
Of course it can. You can eliminate more germs and odours with Glen 20 every day. It's the Can Do can.
Here's to those who have a crack at opening their own business out the back. Or the brave souls who have a crack at something other than butter chicken. And old mate's having a crack at working out a new workout.
Everything burns.
Hang in there, mate. At least when he wants to have a crack on the Sportsbet app, it's fast and easy. Sportsbet, proud supporters of having a crack.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Want more cash for your car? Get instant cash today at Car to Select Cars. Sell your car, ute, SUV, four-wheel drive, hybrid or electric vehicle and get instant cash today. Let us do a better deal for you.
Upgrade your home with Doors Plus March Madness sale. Save on stunning external or sleek internal doors. Even doors for pets. March Madness savings across the range. Plus, we can fit, paint, stain and deliver. Hassle-free from selection to installation. March Madness on now. Doors Plus, no fuss.
Take charge of autumn with Stihl. Get 10% off selected Pro battery tools. Save up to $100. And purchase 2 Pro batteries, get a third free. That's $5.99 Pro value. Only from Stihl dealers and Stihl shop online today.
Good afternoon. A cloudy end to the working week for Sydney with a few showers this morning. On the radar, you can see that rain band moving through. Just a sprinkle really, with most suburbs recording less than 1 millimetre. Our outer west picking up the highest rainfall, about 3 millimetres for Richmond. The sun finally breaking through this afternoon, helping boost those temperatures. The city reaching 28. Our west also reaching the high 20s, up to 29 in Campbelltown and Kellyville. Across New South Wales, the highest totals were over the central west. Dubbo Airport not the wettest, recording 36 millimetres. And right now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of the mid-north coast and northern tablelands, with heavy rainfall possible there over the next several hours. A southerly change moving up the coast this morning, stalling around the Hunter late tonight. Mudgee only reaching 23 today, while Burke hit 37. Temperatures heating up tomorrow as a high moves in over the southeast of the country. Onshore winds bringing some coastal showers to New South Wales. Brisbane also in for a shower or two tomorrow. A fine start to the weekend for Canberra though. Partly cloudy and 28. A cool day for Melbourne, only making it to 21, and beautiful blue skies over Perth. Back home, the Bureau is expecting scattered showers and isolated storms over the northeast. Isolated showers along the rest of the coast and ranges. Dry and sunny in the west and across the Riverina. Mudgee back up into the 30s. A 33 in Dubbo and mid to high 20s along the coast. Sydney might also get a shower or two tomorrow, but less than a millimetre forecast, and we should get a lot more sunshine than today with partly cloudy conditions. Our west reaching 27 to 29 and the city also heading for 26. On to the rest of the weekend and those showers hanging around. A 50% chance on Sunday with 0 to 3 millimetres. Just a possible shower on Monday. Top sitting at around 27 until Thursday. Cloudy with a high chance of showers, and at this stage our wettest day with up to 9 millimetres. Our west also in for a showery week. 27 and 0 to 4 millimetres on Sunday. Staying in the high 20s until Thursday, and despite the showers, most days will be partly cloudy, so we'll still get plenty of sunshine.
Sounds good to me, Belinda. Thank you. And that is 9's afternoon news. Our next bulletin is at 6 o'clock with Georgie Gardner. I'm Kate Creedon. Thanks for your company. Have a great evening. Hope to see you soon.
Who I am, my identity, doesn't meet your approval.
You don't feel Jackie ever accepted you as a man.
Not just that, as a person.
The final night of commitment.
What do you have to say to that?
Why you keep treating me like this, Ryan? Wow.
Is television that can't be missed. Sunday.
Oh my God.
What kind of crazy life hack is this?
The dishwasher doesn't dry the dishes well enough.
Try Finish Rinse Aid.
For 2 times better drying, including on plastic, improving shine and protecting glasses.
Finish, the real life hack.
You know I love you, Jarvis, but there's just no way you'd be able to get dinner on the table in under 20 minutes like this. Planning even just a few dinners a week with HelloFresh can help in a lot of little ways. HelloFresh, hello dinner.
Book now and fly free with Viking. Explore all 7 continents with no kids, no casinos and all-inclusive pricing.
Hurry, Viking's Explorer sale ends soon. Book your next voyage before 31 March to secure free flight offers. See your Viking agent or visit Viking.com.
The first ever Kia K4 with ultra-wide screen. Now a party up front and business in the back. Kia's biggest small sedan, the Kia K4.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Man, there are so many good shows coming out. Almost too many. New characters, new twists, new scandals. Bro, sometimes I just want to judge a kitchen. Whoa! Or hang with my old crew. He scores! Or rewatch this scene for the 200th time.
Staying alive, staying alive.
Now you can get Binge for just $4.99 a month for 12 months. I come for the latest, but I stay for the greatest.
Your cat's immune system is one of her natural protective systems. Help strengthen it with Purina One with Immune Defence Plus, a specialty blend that helps support her immune health to help her lead a healthy life. Purina One with Immune Defence Plus.
Don't let heartburn or indigestion disrupt your day. Try Gaviscon Dual Action Chewable Tablets. The Dual Action formula brings fast, soothing relief so you can get back to enjoying life's moments. On sale now. Gaviscon and Terry White Chem-Mart. Dedicated to care.
Ah, it's finally summertime. And summertime means relaxing by the pool, cricket in the yard, sausages on the barbie, and the Mojo Home Summer Sale. For a limited time, build a new Mojo home and get $65,000 off. Plus, the coolest free upgrades for your new home.
Save big this summer at mojohomes.com.au. More joy, Mojo Homes. T's and C's apply.
Tipping Point Australia, brought to you by Keno Go. Download the app to add thrill to this ad break with Keno Go's $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes.
Hello, Natasha Beyersdorf with an NBN News update. Sweeping changes recommended as a damning report exposes the unchecked power of our major supermarkets. The quademic flu threat, the important message from doctors ahead of winter. Risk review, why experts are worried about the Golden Gate and Brooklyn bridges following the collapse of Baltimore. An appeal to pet owners to keep close watch on their animals as an Upper Hunter shelter reaches capacity. Plus, the happiest countries in the world. Where does Australia stand? And Newcastle horse trainer Chris Lee's out to emulate his father's success at the rich Golden Slipper. Join us for those stories and more coming up. NBN News tonight at 6.
An evil cop.
He was nothing more than a criminal in a police uniform.
The master manipulator, whose torment affects her to this day.
A current affair tonight.
The Nick Scully Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. Ends Sunday at Nick Scully.
Even on the busiest of days, pain can get in the way. Choose Nurofen Advanced Liquid Capsules to unleash the speed of liquid, relieving headaches fast. And for those times when you need to get tough on pain, Nuromol's powerful combination of ibuprofen and paracetamol provides fast-acting, longer-lasting, more effective relief than paracetamol alone. Hit pain hard with Nuromol.
It's days like these. Rediscovering a new freedom. Living in a luxury home. In a luxury world-class resort. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
It's not where we go, but how far we go and the moments we have along the way. Introducing the all-new Audi Q6 e-tron. Electrifying, exhilarating, invigorating. It's a new era that powers us forward and leaves us breathless. This is you. This is us. This is Audi.
Can finish tackle Nonna's famous feast and those burnt-on stains? Mum doesn't think so. Finish Ultimate Plus gives a deep clean for a brilliant shine. What's your Finish challenge?
The Plush new season sale ends Sunday with up to 40% off selected leather and fabric sofas, recliners and armchairs. Save up to 40% off at the Plush new season sale. Ends Sunday.
Think so fast, think Plush.
Unlock unbeatable deals at your local Better. Score a bonus Better gift card up to $300 on selected fridges, TVs, washers, cooking and more. Plus, you can buy now, pay later at over 150 stores nationwide. Go local. That's Better.
Hi Australia, come along and see our brand new Robertson Brothers 1960s variety TV show featuring hits from the Beatles, Del Shannon, Petula Clark and the Beach Boys. Simon Brooke McLaughlin will be joining us again, along with the amazing Cosima DeVito from Australian Idol. Come and see the Robertson Brothers 1960s variety TV show. Tickets at the venue.
Hello, Natasha Beyersdorf with an NBN News update. One of the world's busiest airports shut down by a major power outage. Fears of a winter quademic, what it means and how to avoid it. Gaza pounded by Israeli strikes for a third straight day, leaving dozens dead and injured. The International Olympic Committee elects its first ever female president. And the shock transformation of South star Latrell Mitchell. For those stories and more, watch NBN News tonight at 6.
He led the riot and rage on the steps of world power. Jailed for 22 years until Donald set him free.
I am a proud
The extraordinary interview. Amelia Adams and the Proud Boys ringleader.
They made my family suffer, and the people who made them suffer will pay.
Sunday.
One whiff, and Julie remembered why detergent alone wasn't enough. Pynoclean Platinum Laundry Sanitizer removes 99.9% of germs and leaves 28 days of refreshing fragrance. It's not clean unless it's Pynoclean.
Australia, welcome to Miami. For just $2, you could win this Martyr Prize Home Masterpiece, a Mercedes, and $100,000 in gold bullion. Buy your tickets now and get ready to live it up, Miami style.
A sense of belonging. This is a sentiment we've heard most from the homeowners across our many Palm Lake resorts. Our resorts are designed around social connections and creating spontaneous moments that make life grand. Every resort offers many ways for people to come together and thrive. New homes now selling. This is your time at Palm Lake Resort.
So, Robbo's dropping by later.
DeBricky.
Isn't he a mountain climber?
You mean the president of the fishing club? Nah, he's the real Iron Man.
He's a lifesaver.
He can shed his skin.
He can read minds. He's many things to many people, Robbo.
Drives a BT50, right?
Yeah.
Hard to reach stains? Try Harpic Fresh Power Tablets. Simply drop and go to help remove stains. Clean where the brush can't reach with new Harpic Fresh Power cleaning tablets. For easy toilet cleaning, try Harpic tablets today.
Experience highlights of Antarctica from $13,999 per person, including flights. Set foot on the icy continent with Hurtigruten expeditions. Spot towering icebergs, incredible wildlife and more. Search Trip a Deal now.
Australia, a great place for families. Come over to the sunny side now.
I'm gonna get us the house I promised, whatever way I can.
You came here to find your son.
I've got myself a new job.
The deeds to this property, they're mine. What the hell were you thinking?
We're a family.
We stick together.
We will rise above. The brand new season of the Stan original series, 10-Pound Poms. Now streaming only on Stan.
This weekend on Today, medical deepfakes. The alarming new trend catching vulnerable Aussies off guard. We tell you what to look for. Plus, no driver, no worries. Inside the Ubers of the future. And wake up a winner. We're giving away a brand new set of wheels. From 7 a.m. on 9 and 9 now.
The Plush new season sale ends Sunday with up to 40% off selected leather and fabric sofas, recliners and armchairs. Save up to 40% off at the Plush new season sale. Ends Sunday.
Think so fast, think Plush.
You could go to great lengths to fill the room with fresh fragrance. Or try Airwick scented oil plug-ins. Enjoy fragrance infused with natural essential oils for up to 100 days of freshness. Now that's a breath of fresh Airwick.
65 years ago, this bathroom was in style and this look was on fire.
Today, these timeless classics are at unbeatable prices. Quality tiles up to 50% off with Beaumont's lifetime guarantee.
Book now and fly free with Viking. Explore all 7 continents with no kids, no casinos and all-inclusive pricing.
Hurry, Viking's Explorer sale ends soon. Book your next voyage before 31 March to secure free flight offers. See your Viking agent or visit Viking.com.
He's over the moon.
I'm excited.
He's waited so long for that.
It's around about 85.
With GIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, get lifetime guarantee on authorized repairs. If it's precious to you, protect it with us. GIO. Protect precious.
Well, thank you, England. You've sent us all your robes.
You came here to find your son.
If you want to survive in this country, you've got to be ruthless.
What the hell were you thinking?
I was trying to get us the house I promised.
Get more flavour and more value with Domino's new pizza pots.
delicious handcrafted pots loaded with your choice of 3-cheese blend, Aussie beef and bacon, or our signature pepperoni. Swing by for a 3-pack at Domino's.
Universities matter because of what matters to us, like medical research, finding cures and better treatments, crops that survive droughts, more doctors and nurses to take care of us in later life, because we need affordable energy and housing, healthier koalas, safer cars, cleaner water, For more ways universities benefit us all, visit universitiesmatter.edu.au.
In NBN News, Newcastle Council set to decide on the future of Broadmeadow and appeal to pet owners as an upper hunter shelter reaches capacity. And hunter horse trainer Chris Lee's out to emulate his father's golden slipper feat next.
Love bombed when Bianca's love story turned into a nightmare.
I've never known such evil. Nothing more than a criminal in a police uniform.
Carl, can a can of Glen 20 take care of my pillows?
Can do.
Dog smell?
Can do.
Bin juice stink?
Of course it can. You can eliminate more germs and odours with Glen 20 every day. It's the Can Do can.
What could your next 15-day holiday look like with TripADeal? Experience highlights of Antarctica from $13,999 per person, including flights. Immerse in the majestic landscapes of Antarctica and set foot on the icy continent with Hurtigruten expeditions. Travel in luxury and cruise past towering icebergs. Witness incredible wildlife and more. Plus, earn and use Qantas points on every booking. Search TripADeal now.
With the help of Xero accounting software, I've got the right information at my fingertips.
So business is a breeze. And I've got bigger plans. Search Xero with an X.
There's no more indulgent treat than Domino's new lava pots. Decadent handcrafted pots oozing with choc lava, dusted with icing sugar and drizzled with a creamy glaze. Swing by for a 2-pack at Domino's.
Okay, roaches, get ready to race. Hey, behind the line, Rita. Set. Go, no! Let's go!
Nothing kills big cockroaches faster with a 1-second spray.
What are you doing?
Gotta stay up all night and keep an eye on all the properties we're looking at.
Babe, these are really bad for you.
I know, but I feel amazing. Look at this, I've organized these tabs by price from low to high. But on this browser, I've got them listed from high to low in terms of, how many bedrooms there are. I just gotta make sure that there's at least 2 bathrooms, right?
Never miss a listing update with property alerts. Download the Domain app. Know what we know.
The Next Scully Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. And Sunday at Next Scully.
Hobbo! Tiernan coming across!
It's the fabled rivalry.
Tommy Tiernan!
So many heart-stopping, mind-blowing moments. Now, the next chapter. Broncos, Cowboys.
What a game.
A Friday night showdown. Live and free on 9 and 9 Now.
Tipping Point Australia, brought to you by Keno Go. Download the app to add thrill to this ad break with Keno Go's $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes.
Coming up in NBN News, too much power. The consumer watchdog delivers a damning report on our big supermarkets. London's Heathrow Airport shut down by a major power outage. The new move from the rail union that could impact New South Wales commuters. An appeal to pet owners to keep close watch on their animals as an upper hunter shelter reaches capacity. And in sport, Nathan Cleary's season takes a hit, suffering a nasty head knock in Penrith's loss to Melbourne. Details next. Tonight, a damning report into our supermarkets by the consumer watchdog slams the dominance of Woolworths and Coles.
Passengers across the globe set to be affected as one of the world's busiest airports closes for 24 hours.
The fight flares again. The rail union pushes to overturn a pause on strike action.
Australia joins the planning for a potential peacekeeping force in Ukraine.
And the Latrell Mitchell transformation that's even surprised his coach, Wayne Bennett.
This is NBN News with Gavin Morris and Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. Shoppers have been warned there's no quick solution to the dominance of Woolworths and Coles, which are among the most profitable supermarkets in the world.
The consumer watchdog has found they have unchecked power and it wants reform, including telling customers when products are shrinking but prices are not.
Great value, hands down.
If you listen to their ads, there's no problem.
Plus thousands of specials every week.
Competition, plenty. Shoppers, they're on your side.
Showing the lowest unit price first.
Impressive.
The reality?
The market share of the big two supermarkets has increased.
The grocery prices have increased ahead of the CPI.
Coles and Woolworths in the crosshairs of the ACCC for projecting the illusion of competition tension by bouncing prices up and then down, claiming it's on special, or shrinking the size of the product but not the price.
Shrinkflation, sneaky prices, unfair deals, we're tackling those head on.
Among the competition watchdog's 20 recommendations, notification of shoppers when product package sizes are reduced, greater transparency of loyalty programs and wholesale fresh produce, government support for community-owned stores in areas with little choice, and a price comparison app for Coles, Woolworths and Aldi.
And see in real time how the prices compare between retailers and therefore where the best value lies.
Market dominance of the two biggest supermarkets, perhaps the biggest challenge. Woolworths with a 38% share, Coles 29%. The next biggest, Aldi, just 9%.
Aldi's my best. Woolies and Coles give a better service.
There is market dominance and that's why we're acting.
Fourth generation farmer Jo Briganti says she's disappointed the ACCC didn't recommend powers to break up the supermarkets, saying she could see price gouging.
With limes, often they're only paying $3 to $4 a kilo and you're consistently seeing them in the supermarket at about $12, $13 a kilo.
Unless there is a consequence for doing the wrong thing, then it's business as usual for these big supermarkets.
Millions of Australians are massively under the pump at the moment, and one place we know we can make a difference is at the supermarket checkout.
Coles and Woolworths say they welcome greater transparency for customers, but not if it increases red tape or costs. Andrew Probyn, NBN News.
The report shows just how cosy the relationship between Coles and Woolworths has become. Here's finance editor Chris Kohler.
First things first, the two big supermarkets are not discounting. A discount is a reduction from a usual price. But what happens if there is no usual price? What if it's just an illusion? These are the examples given by the ACCC. The red line is Coles and the green line is Woolworths. The products are the same: chocolate, Coke, laundry liquid, mayonnaise, and the prices are simply inversed. It's an unmistakable pattern. When a chocolate bar is at the low price at Coles, it's at the high price at Woolies and vice versa. And the high and low prices are exactly the same. This is not strong competition. This is a pricing strategy that works in conjunction with the competitor. And now the government has been shown it clearly.
The report also suggests that the big two may have been playing tag team rather than tug-of-war, which look a little too cosy for the comfort of many Australians.
The ACCC wants an easy-to-use website to compare grocery prices, but without addressing this cosy system, all it will do is show the oscillating price system and possibly drive up compliance costs.
So cross-shopping, as the inquiry refers to, is already taking place. Apps or comparison sites, they already exist. I'd be cautious to spend taxpayer money on inventing something that already exists.
New customer alerts when a supplier changes a product unit size is also a key consideration, but Coles and Woolworths carry upwards of 25,000 items, so that could be a lot of information too. But whether any of this will actually reduce prices, that is not clear. Chris Kohler, NBN News.
London's Heathrow Airport has been closed for 24 hours after a huge fire at a nearby electrical substation. The disruption to Europe's busiest airport is expected to cause ripple effects for passengers across the globe.
A fireball erupts into the darkness. An electrical substation alight. As more than 70 firefighters struggled to contain the flames, widespread power cuts hit the surrounding area. Heathrow Airport within the impacted zone, only 2.5 kilometres away from the fire. Inside its usually bustling terminals, darkness. And as morning broke, the skies above remained empty. The airport releasing a statement. Heathrow is experiencing a significant power outage and will be closed until 23:59 on the 21st of March. Passengers are advised not to travel to the airport. Heathrow is one of the world's busiest airports, with a plane landing or taking off around every 45 seconds. The closure set to cause travel chaos for days.
It's a major hiccup and really, quite frankly, unforgivable. A piece of infrastructure that important has to have a plan B.
Fire crews remaining at the substation throughout the night. The London Fire Brigade saying a 200-metre cordon has been established with around 150 people evacuated. This will be a prolonged incident.
And Hannah Sinclair is at Heathrow Airport for us tonight. Hannah, good evening. How have Australian travellers been impacted?
Good evening, Gav. Several Qantas flights have been impacted by the all-day shutdown here at Heathrow Airport. A Singapore to London service and a Perth to London service have both been diverted to Paris, with some passengers from those flights told they'll be put on buses to get them here. We spoke to one of them. Take a look.
On the flight tracker, the location changed to Paris. Once we got on the ground, they told us that some buses would be picking us up in a couple hours.
There are another 2 Qantas flights scheduled to depart London today, which will also likely be impacted. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning here, with travellers on this side of the world waking up to what is going to be a chaotic 24 hours of air travel. Gav?
Hannah, thank you. Strikes on the New South Wales rail network could resume as early as next month. The rail union today pushing to overturn the pause on industrial action, but the state government is fighting back.
An uninterrupted Friday afternoon commute, closing out a 4th week of smooth sailing on our rail network. But it could only be another 4 until disruptive strike action ramps back up.
It's been good. Prior to that, it was very difficult. Could take me up to 3 hours to get to Sydney.
The pawns in this game can't be regular commuters.
The rail union today requesting the Fair Work Commission revoke its decision to suspend industrial action. The truce, in place until July 1, was meant to promote progress as the state government and union continue pay negotiations.
The government and Transport have taken advantage of the order made and has moved 42 items further apart than we were on the 19th of February.
The rail union arguing they've been stonewalled by government leaders.
We haven't seen anybody from the government at all since that order was made.
The government is offering a 15% pay rise over 4 years. The RTBU is fighting for a 32% increase over the same period. The government will have until next week to dismiss the RTBU's request. Meanwhile, the federal court is deliberating over a request by the electrical trade union to also quash the industrial action suspension order.
The last thing we need is those orders being lifted by the courts. We don't want to go back to a situation where there's chaos on the railways. There's endless strikes that mean that millions of commuters in New South Wales can't get home or can't get to work.
Madison Scott, NBN News.
A coroner has handed down her findings on a fatal police shooting in Newcastle, declaring the officer's actions reasonable and appropriate. It comes almost 2 years after the incident, and we warn Indigenous viewers this story contains the name and image of a person who has died.
A heavy police presence on Bishopsgate Street at Wickham. It's April 2023 and a Wabbical man, Warren Matthew Simon, has just been fatally shot by police. More than a year on, the actions of Constables Luke Sweeney and Shannon Haim were examined at a 3-day inquest. The court hearing, the pair arrived at a unit on the street at 8 a.m. while investigating a break-in at Cooks Hill and didn't handcuff 38-year-old Mr Simon when they placed placed him under arrest on suspicion of theft. Seconds later, he pulled out a large knife and lunged at Constable Sweeney, stabbing him under the armpit before fleeing the property. Constable Haim followed, fending off Mr Simon's attempts to stab her. The court heard Constable Sweeney feared for his partner's life, and just 3 minutes after they first arrived, he fired his gun 3 times, hitting Mr Simon in the chest and hands. He later died in hospital. Today, the Deputy State Coroner handed down her findings in Lidcombe Coroner's Court, ultimately declaring that Constables Haim and Sweeney acted reasonably, appropriately and in compliance with New South Wales Police Force policies and procedures. During the inquest, concerns were raised that both officers didn't have a taser, which is against police policy. But the coroner today agreed with evidence provided that it was difficult to conceive of a situation where the use of a firearm was more reasonable or necessary. Jessica Warboys, NBN News.
Business New South Wales representatives have toured the Hunter this week, gaining insights from the likes of Newcastle Airport, Tulloch Wines and Varley Group. The business leaders say it's important to advocate for the Hunter at all levels of government and look closely at the energy transition.
It's not simply a matter of flicking a switch over to green energy. We need coal during transition, and we need gas, and we need surety of supply on that, and the federal government needs to make sure that that happens.
Issues such as housing and insurance costs were also on the agenda, as well as maintaining local manufacturing.
Muswellbrook locals today got the chance to take a closer look at the Old Oak factory before it becomes a rum and brandy distillery. Also on hand, the Assistant Trade Minister meeting with local businesses and officials and giving the project the thumbs up.
It's going to create dozens and dozens of jobs and high quality Australian rum for the Australian market and for the export market.
Spirits are expected to start flowing at the site from late July.
Aged care provider Mercy Services has been accused of removing the last resident from its Singleton facility 6 days before it's scheduled to close. Greg McTaggart says his wife is now having to live in hospital until she can move to a new care home.
Denise McTaggart all smiles on her 72nd birthday last month at Mercy Singleton. Now, this is her new accommodation, after husband Greg claimed she was unnecessarily moved out of the aged care facility yesterday to hospital.
Denise is fretting, she's scared, staring at the ceiling, that's all she's doing.
The grandmother was the last remaining resident at the Mercy Services facility. Greg says she was taken by ambulance to Singleton Hospital after what was described as a dementia flare-up, but that doctors then told him nothing was out of the ordinary.
And I thought, well, if she's okay, we'll take her back. But when I spoke to the CEO, she told me that there's no staff there to look after her.
Greg went to the facility and says he found it empty 6 days earlier than scheduled.
The whole closure has been an absolute disaster. There's been no consultation, no planning, and definitely no compassion.
Mercy Services today issued a statement saying the resident is in need of care, which is best administered by a hospital. She was the last one to remain in the home and it would be inappropriate for her to stay there alone with no other residents. But the local federal MP is fuming.
It doesn't pass the pub test, it doesn't pass the normal humanity test.
The Aged Care Minister today confirming we have referred Mercy Services to the Aged Care Quality and Safety Commission to investigate. Denise is on the waiting list for another Singleton facility. Until then, the next closest option is one in Cessnock, which can take her on Monday, meaning she'll spend the weekend in hospital. Dan Repicoli now hopeful another aged care provider will move into town to fill the void.
And I'm having constant meetings with the Minister's office on this.
Brisa Utama, NBN News.
The Muswellbrook Animal Shelter is having to turn away pets, saying it's now at capacity. Senior Ranger Michelle Crook is urging people to budget before buying pets, with the cost of ownership leading to an influx in surrenders.
Please desex your pets. That is a huge problem in our community, is the amount of litters being born into an overpopulated society.
Information about low-cost options can be found on the National Desexing Network website.
Newcastle Fringe Festival's 10th anniversary celebration has begun. The cultural extravaganza will run until next Sunday and feature more than 200 shows across 15 venues.
Newcastle Fringe is all about fun, it's about entertainment, it's about quirkiness, it's about emerging artists.
A full program can be found on the Newcastle Fringe website.
Well, it started out fine, but then that well-organised rain band pushed through, tapping into all of the humidity, moving through during the peak of the day. So it capped temperatures into the mid-20s, but it's mighty fine at the moment. We've got more fine weather on the way. A couple of showers before the weekend is over. Details soon.
You're watching NBN News. Still ahead, Israel's security boss pays the price for October 7 as the assault on Gaza continues.
The Kremlin pushes back at the idea of peacekeepers in Ukraine.
And the glass ceiling shattered at the IOC after 130 years.
The Next Scully Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. Ends Sunday at Next Scully.
This autumn, make the Sunboost switch with the mega-selling 6.6 kilowatt premium home solar system with top-rated Tier 1 panels for an incredible $34.91 till March 31 only.
Get your energy bills reduced. Call 1300 Sunboost.
Whatever they get up to, protect them with NexGuard Spectra Spot On for Cats. The most complete protection against fleas, ticks, mites, heartworm, worms, even tapeworms. All in one easy monthly application. NexGuard Spectra.
The fruit smoothies, they're absolutely beautiful, and I would recommend the Jumpstart Go program. My dad has lost 18 kilos and I've lost 12 kilos. I feel amazing.
Eat healthier, live happier with Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Go.
This is more than a game of netball. This is a game of strategy, timing and winning. Show 'em who's boss. My plate's more than a plate.
Are you ready to have your life changed? This $10.2 million prize could be just the ticket. Dream Home Art Union Draw 425 is offering the chance to win a brand new complex of 4 luxury townhouses, complete with water views in the heart of Surfers Paradise, as well as $1 million in gold. This life-changing prize could be yours for just a $10 ticket. Search Dream Home Art Union today.
The Hyundai Keys to Summer event is here. Unlock offers across a wide range of new and demonstrator Hyundai models. Open the door to better beach days, bigger adventures, and breezier drives. Unlock your best summer yet with the Hyundai Keys to Summer event. Take a test drive at your participating Hyundai dealer today. T's and C's and exclusions at hyundai.com.au.
The Next Scully Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. Ends Sunday at Next Scully.
Where to from here? Will your life ever be the same? Are you getting what's fair, not just what's offered? Talk to Slater and Gordon and we'll take it from here.
Go Harvey Norman for big brand super deals on now. Westinghouse 8 kilo washers from just $587. Save $200 on this Electrolux pyrolytic oven, now under $1,500. Energy efficient Westinghouse French door fridge under $1,400. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
Israel's cabinet has approved the Prime Minister's request to fire the head of the country's internal security service. Ronan Bar had previously accepted responsibility for his agency's failure to stop the October 7 attack by Hamas ahead of time and was planning to step down. Meanwhile, at least 85 people have been killed in another day of strikes on Gaza, according to the Strip's health ministry.
A senior Australian military officer has joined army leaders near London to plan for a potential peacekeeping force in Ukraine. The high-level meeting comes as the Kremlin says there'll be no deal if other forces get involved.
1,121 days of war.
Both sides talking ceasefire, the implementation under fierce negotiation.
From the very, very beginning, Ukraine has been advocating for what we are discussing now.
And other countries ready to back it up.
We need to work together to ensure that any deal that is put in place is defended.
Air Vice Marshal Di Turton, Australia's military representative to NATO, joining other military chiefs from around 20 countries northwest of London to plan for peace. The meeting here at the Northwood Military Headquarters discussing how a multinational peacekeeping force would actually work in Ukraine, if it'll be some boots on the ground along with air and maritime forces. And as Australia considers how it can help, there are still some major obstacles. Russia says it would not agree to a ceasefire if there are European or other forces deployed to Ukraine. A Kremlin spokesperson saying Europe has so far, so to speak, engaged in militarisation and has turned into a party of war. Volodymyr Zelensky addressing European leaders in Brussels via video call, asking for more than $8 billion for ammunition as discussions with Donald Trump continue.
Unconditional full ceasefire on land. Please support this. Putin must stop making unnecessary demands that only prolong the war.
In London, Hannah Sinclair, NBN News.
The US and Ukraine are very close to signing a minerals deal, according to Donald Trump. The president making the remarks at the White House after signing an executive order to boost the production of critical minerals.
One of the things we are doing is signing a deal very shortly with respect to rare earths with Ukraine.
Mr. Trump also says he believes Ukraine and Russia will get a deal done to end the war. It's billed as the biggest job in sport, and it's long been the domain of men. But now a champion swimmer from Zimbabwe has made history, becoming the first woman to be elected president of the International Olympic Committee.
The Lord of the Rings passing the baton to the First Lady.
Mrs. Kirsty Coventry.
The IOC banishing its reputation as a boys' club, with Zimbabwe's Kirsty Coventry, the first woman in 130 years to take charge.
This is an extraordinary moment. As a 9-year-old girl, I never thought that I would be standing up here one day.
It was a stunning first-round election knockout in a 7-strong field, which included Britain's Lord Sebastian Coe. But back in 2008, Coventry couldn't beat our own Stephanie Rice at the Beijing Olympics.
Does Steph wow them again? Yes, she does.
At 41, she's now the most powerful woman in sport. The two-time Olympic champion, Coventry is the youngest ever president, the first African, and just 5 months ago, she had a second child. The appointment puts her on a potential collision course with US President Donald Trump over the Olympic Games in Los Angeles in 2028.
I have been dealing with, let's say, difficult men in high positions since I was 20 years old.
And her new job will have ramifications for Brisbane 2032. Coventry was a regular in the city as the chair of the IOC's Coordination Commission for the Games. Kirsty Coventry's ride to the top began in 2013 when she was elected on the IOC's Athletes Commission. Australia's golden girl, Jessica Fox, could now be on the same path. She voted in this election and publicly applauded the result. The president-elect will take over in June. Damien Ryan, NBN News.
Well, it's been very warm ahead of a well-organised rain ban. Newcastle Harbour was wet during lunchtime, but the rain passed, clearing nicely this evening. The cloud band is making its way across New South Wales, trying to link up with the tropical air mass. The system tapped into all of that humidity on the surface this morning, helping it to become well-structured, triggering a few lightning strikes to liven things up. That rain band is going to continue on its path into northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland tonight before clearing by the morning. Now, there's not that much cold air associated with it, so it's still going to be warm to hot. Most locations are headed for the high 20s, with the low to mid 30s again for the northwest of the Moree Plains and northern rivers.
Next, key advice from health experts amid concerns Australia's facing a quadruple hit of viruses this winter.
An amazing act of generosity after a family loses everything in a Hunter house fire.
The world's happiest countries revealed, so where does Australia sit?
Planning even just a few dinners a week with HelloFresh can help in a lot of little ways. Less stress, more variety, no one getting prickly about dinner. No offence. Beautiful. HelloFresh, hello dinner.
Vodafone's just doubled its network coverage. To celebrate, get double data. That's a massive 100 gigs for just $39. Make your move to Vodafone.
What keeps our heart beating is finding joy. It's at the heart of all we do and has been since 1885. Bolton Clark, Australia's heart of positive ageing. Celebrating 140 years, caring for Australians.
I love pork. That is no mystery. The mystery for me is why some of you don't. ¿Por qué? You see, life's tastier when you get some pork on your fork.
Do your sensitive teeth hold you back from enjoying yourself? Try the Sensodyne range from Chemist Warehouse. These daily toothpastes provide 24/7 relief and protection from sensitive teeth without compromising on strong teeth, healthy gums, whitening and fresh breath benefits. So go ahead and enjoy your favourites with the #1 brand for sensitive teeth. Sensodyne 160 gram are just $7.69 each, exclusive to Chemist Warehouse. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
Join Energy Australia's Flexi Plan and get a $200 sign-up credit on your first electricity bill. Join Energy Australia online today or call 133 466.
Cliche, if it's not making dollars, baby, it's not making sense. How you picky with your art when you can't even pay your rent? Shorty get inspired. How about that? How about that? This time, shorty get.
All right, you've got this. Let's get this cot home.
If you need help wrangling your money, we're right there with you. NAB, more than money.
Get your place looking good for less.
Dulax interior paint, $98.90. Sally's 180 gram gap filler, $12.90.
Where you find the competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Go Harvey Norman for up to 20% off HP and Asus computers. This lightweight HP laptop save $130. Asus VivoBook 15 with 1TB storage save over $300. HP Intel Core Ultra 5 laptop now $1,098 at Harvey Norman now.
The Plush new season sale ends Sunday with up to 40% off selected leather and fabric sofas, recliners and armchairs. Save up to 40% off at the Plush new season sale. Ends Sunday.
Think so fast, think Plush.
A warning tonight that a drop in flu vaccination rates could drive up hospitalisations and deaths this winter. Stocks of the latest vaccines are being rolled out across Australia as the US recovers from its worst season in years.
The US in recent months battered by a brutal flu season.
We haven't seen the level of influenza we're seeing this year since before the pandemic.
Hit by 4 viruses at once, dubbed a quademic: the flu, COVID, RSV and norovirus.
It's very concerning what we've seen in the Northern Hemisphere.
In recent days, stocks of this season's flu vaccines rolled out in Australian pharmacies and GP clinics.
We don't know whether we're going to have an early flu season or a late flu season.
Flu-related deaths in Australia last year 67% higher than in 2023. This season's vaccine updated to help boost protection.
When it works well, it's able to keep
the GP visits down and also the visits to hospital down.
Australia's Chief Medical Officer has expressed deep concerns about the decline in flu vaccination rates. In children under 5, rates have dropped by nearly 20% in 4 years. And in the over 65s, they've seen a 10% slide in 2 years.
We've seen an element of complacency after everyone did a whole host of measures to reduce the risk of COVID transmission.
Queensland and WA providing free flu jabs to everyone aged over 6 months. Those at risk can access it under the National Immunisation Program, but there's no harm in getting in early.
When you have your flu shot, it won't really be effective for about 2 weeks.
Gabriella Rogers, NBN News.
Initial investigations into the Delta Airlines crash at an airport in Toronto, Canada last month have found the plane's right-side landing gear collapsed on impact and that the aircraft had a high descent rate as it came into land. All 80 passengers and crew were able to make it out of the plane after it rolled and caught fire. The Prince of Wales is in Estonia on a 2-day visit to bolster ties and show support for British troops at the Russian border. William also stopped for selfies but had a slight mishap, dropping one fan's iPhone case. He then headed to a school educating young Ukrainian refugees, praising them for their resilience before playing a game of basketball.
To Finance Now, and Australian investors were focused on today's ACCC report but didn't seem too worried. More now from Chris Kohler.
On a day when everyone was given a detailed report on the problems within the Australian supermarket sector, their share prices jumped. Investors clearly didn't see any reason to worry, with Coles up close to 5% and Woolies up more than 6%. After all, today's ACCC report said, quote, Coles and Woolworths' dominance of the sector seems set to continue. Looking to currency, and the Australian dollar was mostly higher, buying 63 US cents, 58 euro cents and 48 British pence today. Outside of that, investors are eyeing a big dump of dividends. Next week, more than $13 billion will be paid out to shareholders of Australian listed companies. Looks good, but overall, the dividend pile is down almost 6% from last year, so a little light on for shareholders.
Now to a story that will restore your faith in humanity. A Newcastle family of 5 lost their home and possessions in a house fire earlier this week. But today came a generous surprise to lift their spirits and get them back on their feet.
It's the moment a big-hearted businessman broke some heartwarming news.
You can stay in the house for as long as you want until you get yourself established, back up on your feet.
Mark Shaloub heard of a Mayfield family's plight and wanted to help.
I was just touched and I was very moved, and I want to take all his worries away and his family's worries away.
I think maybe Mark is an angel in my life.
Mark's New Lambton dealership sold the family a car 2 weeks ago. On Wednesday, Frank returned needing a replacement key after it and all of the family's belongings were destroyed by an overnight house fire.
All he wanted from me was just a key. And I had goosebumps. I was so emotional inside that he had lost everything. There was nothing left, only the clothes and the thongs that he was wearing.
Mark soon had a different key in mind.
That is for you, and for you, of course. Come on through. Let me show you around.
Offering Frank and partner Leslie a rental property, a fully furnished 3-bedroom villa at Jesmond, to help the humble, hard-working couple recover. The family grateful for a roof over their heads free of charge for as long as they need.
She's been doing too much for me, and it's like, I still feel like it's not real.
It's been a tough few days for the family, which was forced to jump from the second story of the Mayfield townhouse to escape the blaze, Leslie breaking her wrist. Firefighters declared e-bike batteries were to blame. Frank says they weren't even on charge. Today, Mark's kindness and compassion proved overwhelming.
Grateful, just speechless as well. I just feel it all in here.
Whether it's months or however long it may take him, it's all taken care of.
Jane Goldsmith, NBN News.
Finland has been ranked the world's happiest country for the 8th year in a row, according to an annual report published by Oxford University. Despite its months of darkness and sub-zero temperatures, Finland's access to nature and a strong welfare system were factors in claiming it top spot. Other Nordic countries such as Denmark, Iceland, Sweden and the Netherlands rounded out the top 5. Australia slipped out of the top 10 to 11th.
Oh, no doubt about it. The Finnish are a lot of fun to travel with, let me tell you. Let's move to sport now with Montanna Clare.
Oh, Tan, it's a transformation that even has Wayne Bennett talking.
Good evening, Tash and Gav. Yes, Latrell Mitchell's new look has surprised the Supercoach. More on that next. While the Panthers are counting the cost of last night's loss, and that includes Nathan Cleary. Also ahead, a big win for the Socceroos on the road to the World Cup, and the staggering price paid for one of the world's most famous teams.
The new Hot Honey range has dropped at Macca's with the Hot Honey McSpicy, the Hot Honey Dipping Sauce, and the Hot Honey McCrispy. Embrace the drip at Macca's.
The Plush new season sale ends Sunday with up to 40% off selected leather and fabric sofas, recliners and armchairs. Save up to 40% off at the Plush new season sale. Ends Sunday.
Think Selfless, think Plush.
It's the final days of the Mitsubishi factory clearance, and you're good to go with a $3,000 bonus on Pajero Sport and select Triton models. All backed by Mitsubishi 1010. Hurry, offer ends 31st of March.
Hey mate, it's time to go home. I can't!
Don't get stuck in pain. Voltaren gel penetrates deep into the skin to reduce inflammation and relieve pain to get you moving sooner.
I'm back!
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Experience highlights of Antarctica from $13,999 per person, including flights. Set foot on the icy continent with Hurtigruten expeditions. Spot towering icebergs, incredible wildlife and more. Search Trip a Deal now. Sulla pizza? Legos, Australian made, quality ingredients for more than 100 years. It's how we do Italian.
News from the front.
This is Delta. You got Maltese landing in. Doomben, Richmond, Randwick, Albion Park.
Okay, thanks, Delta.
Ladbroke, same race multi. Jump on early for every Group 1 this autumn carnival. What's gambling really costing you?
This is Australia. This is Australia.
Colorbond, made by Australia.
Harris Scarf sale is on now. Save 40 to 60% off cookware and kitchenware, 40 to 60% off glassware and cutlery, and 20 to 60% off air fryers. Sale ends Friday, March 21st. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf. Great brands, great prices.
The Plush new season sale ends Sunday with up to 40% off selected leather and fabric sofas, recliners and armchairs. Save up to 40% off at the Plush new season sale. Ends Sunday.
Think Selfless, think Plush.
Meet Maddie. She could spend her last $50 on a packet of cigarettes. Instead, she spends it on what matters most.
Feed the mob, not the habit.
Go Harvey Norman for great deals on tech. Motorola G75 with buds save $150. Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus now $298 save $80. Garmin Venue 3S smartwatch with bonus $100 gift card. At Harvey Norman now.
Go!
In Wayne Bennett's world, Latrell Mitchell is a fullback, and the Supercoach is adamant he will remain the Rabbitohs' #1. Bennett praising the Taree star for turning his career and life around ahead of his expected return from injury in round 5.
The Bunnies' biggest star still sidelined, but Latrell's transformation has certainly impressed his coach.
Have you ever seen Latrell look as fit as he does now?
I just saw a photo of him last year, no. It wasn't a nice photo.
On and off-field issues restricted Mitchell to 11 games last year.
To his credit, he's changed his outlook on a whole lot of things, and we got a new-looking Latrell.
Wayne Bennett making it clear where he plans to play a trimmed-down Trell.
You can speculate as much as you like and write all the stories you like. Fullback's his position, it's his number one position, he enjoys being there and he'll be starting at fullback when he comes back.
The Rabbitohs have a new winger. Former Dragon Mikaele Ravalawa will make his club debut against the Sharks after just 2 training sessions with Souths.
They all know how to train. Want to see how he plays football, that'll be more important.
What did you see before he arrived then that you liked?
Not a lot, I've never followed his career a great deal.
The Supercoach has watched Cody Walkers closely and wants the Rabbits recruitment team to re-sign the veteran for 2026.
They can do it when they like, as long as they do it.
The Bunnies yet to give up hope on Brandon Smith arriving in the Burrow this year.
It's up to them. If something changes there, we'll talk about it.
Do you think you might have to give Nick Politis a call and say, hey, let's put the book of feuds aside?
I don't think I'll be ringing Nick, no. I don't think that'll be happening.
The Sharks don't need to call in a new halfback for tomorrow's showdown. Nico Hines has been cleared to play through the pain of a corked quad. Zach Bailey, NBN News.
The Panthers have arrived home battered and bruised after last night's 6-point loss to Melbourne. Among them, Nathan Cleary, after a head knock forced him to miss most of the match. The Category 1 concussion has ruled him out of next week's game against the Rabbitohs. Queensland rivalries will be reignited tonight when the Broncos host the Cowboys at Suncorp Stadium. James Bracey and Jonathan Thurston have the latest.
Well, it's a Queensland derby with a difference here at Suncorp Stadium tonight. Jonathan Thurston, evening to you.
G'day, Brace.
Your Cowboys, we'll get to them in just a moment, but the Broncos coming off a heavy defeat in Canberra. Reece Walsh, a forgettable night in the nation's capital and hoping to back it up with something a bit different tonight.
Yeah, certainly. Canberra put him under the pump last week, so he'll be looking to bounce back. But I think he'll like to get an early touch. He just needs to pick his times when he's coming into the line. So, yeah, he's a quality player, a class player, and no doubt the Cowboys will have their eyes on him.
Two key ins for the Cowboys. Jeremiah Nenai via the bench after being dropped for last week's match. But Jason Taumalolo for the first time in 2025. He's in.
I know. It brings a smile to my face seeing Big Jace back in the side. So he played Q Cup last week. He went to the coaching staff and said that's where he wants to start. He's got 50 minutes there. So hopefully he gets about 40, maybe 42 minutes, maybe a bit longer off the bench. So, yeah, he's a huge in. And I think teams will be looking over their shoulder when they see his name on the sheet.
Everyone's writing your team off.
I know, how good.
Enjoy tonight, mate. I know you will. He'll be sidelined as Nine brings you all the action. The Broncos and the Cowboys live from Suncorp Stadium on the wide world of sports.
The Socceroos were back in the gym today, having a light session after their 5-1 demolition of Indonesia. Captain Matt Ryan hopeful they can take the momentum into their next World Cup qualifier.
It felt like every time we were sort of up there, we almost walked away with a goal, which, yeah, is really nice, obviously. It takes the pressure off the defence when you can do that and obviously consolidate the result.
The Socceroos face China in China on Tuesday. Waratahs star Joseph Suali'i doesn't think missing a month with a toe injury will harm his Wallaby selection chances for this year's British and Irish Lions series.
No, not one bit. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in my ability, to play the game of rugby. And, honestly, this opportunity like this, obviously you don't want to get injured, but, this period I've just, been studying the game differently from a coach's perspective and, just trying to work on skills that I wanted to work on.
Suali'i is confident he will return against the Hurricanes next Friday. The Boston Celtics have a new record, but it isn't for a basketball game. The NBA team has been bought for more than $9.6 billion by a private equity director in California. It's the largest ever sale of a North American sports franchise, topping the previous record of $6.5 billion for the Washington Commanders in 2023. Next, cricket controversy. Usman Khawaja hits back at claims he missed a Shield game while fit to play. And Formula One loses an icon.
Experience Grand Japan from $3,999 per person, including flights. Visit the serene temples of Kyoto, witness breathtaking Mount Fuji, immerse in buzzing Tokyo and more. Search Tripadeal now.
You haven't shopped around until you've tried Yui.
When we got our car insurance, did we call Yui?
No.
We need to talk about our future, David.
Are we breaking up? Do you have a car insurance?
No. I mean, what else have we ever spent on? Are we even trying to save money?
You haven't shopped around until you've tried Yui. You insured.
Get into the Good Guys and don't miss these deals. Get this Hisense front-load washer, $545. This Hisense QLED TV, $1,495. This NutriBullet Mega Pack, $99. Plus $50 off this JBL soundbar. Don't miss these deals and more at the Good Guys.
MyGov ID is now simply My ID, the new name for one way you can identify yourself for government services, and in the future, other places too. And you don't have to change a thing. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
At Repco, we get what gets you going at Easter. Get 25% off Bowden's Own to keep your car shining like new. Plus, grab Motortech degreaser 4 for $12, because you could never have enough. Repco gets you going.
Shawty get inspired, how about that? How about that? This time.
The Nick Scully Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. Ends Sunday at Nick Scully.
With Aware Super's retirement income account, you can stop working and keep earning. Tax-free. With super advice and super returns, Aware Super helps you find your rhythm of retirement. That's super helpful.
Northern New South Wales football premier competitions are back this weekend. Catch a match live and enjoy all the action. Details at northernnewsouthwalesfootball.com.au.
Harvey Norman, everything you need for sleep comfort and bedroom style. Discover the luxurious and elegant J Queen quilt cover sets, designed in New York and exclusive to Harvey Norman. Queen size starting from just $169. Your bedding specialists.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman for everything you need in furniture, bedding, home appliances and technology.
Formula One icon and media personality Eddie Jordan has died at the age of 76. He gave Michael Schumacher his first F1 drive back in 1991, months after founding his own racing team, Jordan Grand Prix. The Irishman passed away surrounded by family at his Cape Town home after battling prostate cancer. Usman Khawaja has taken an almighty swing at Queensland cricket, including board member Ian Healy, after being accused of missing a Sheffield Shield game while fully fit to attend the Melbourne Grand Prix. Khawaja insists he had a hamstring injury.
I was talking to him, to the Australian physio the whole time. It's on AMS, our athlete management system. My hammy is reported. Everything is there. Everyone knew about it. That was probably one of the most shocking things I heard said. It was really disappointing because it's categorically untrue.
Khawaja was furious at having his loyalty questioned, saying he left home with Cyclone Alfred approaching to play for Queensland earlier in the month. The stage is set for Newcastle Cricket's grand final at No. 1 Sports Ground. Merewether and Wallsend skippers having their final say on tomorrow's clash at today's end-of-season awards.
A full house for the Newcastle District Cricket Awards, and while most eyes were on the stage, Wallsend skipper Jacob Montgomery was keeping his on the weather.
I think the wicket in there is pretty good, so I think the plans will be much the same, yeah.
Rain is expected for day 2 of this weekend's decider, but the Tigers aren't letting that dampen their spirits.
Yeah, it's a big deal for us this year. It's our 100th season for Wallsend, so yeah, certainly was a goal at the start of the year to make the final.
It's only been 2 years between grand finals for Wallsend, who claimed the title in 2023-24. As for its opponents, Merewether is gearing up for its first decider in 7 years.
Yeah, I'd expect there'd be a few nerves, but I think that should all be well and done by the time we walk out on Saturday.
The Lions head into the clash having won 6 of their last 7 games, and today their star batsman Harry Price was recognised for his role in the side's rejuvenation, named Young Player of the Year.
he's had a pretty good year and scored a lot of runs.
Charlestown's Daniel Chillingworth was named Player of the Year for a second season in a row. The award's handed out in front of a cricket legend.
The health of the game is there for all to see. There's no doubt about that, certainly in the regions.
Jack Howard, NBN News.
Newcastle is just one game away from a third straight country championships final. Coach Garth Brennan looking to his side Central Newcastle connections to get it past a physical Western Rams outfit. The Rebels are chasing a coveted three-peat.
It's sort of all I've thought about since about October, and Garth was talking to me. It was a big goal of mine to achieve that, and it's going to be tough. I think everyone's sort of coming for us this year.
Right now, it's the Rams standing in their way, and Newcastle will need to muscle up in this weekend's semi-final.
They're a very physical side. They are probably, alongside us, probably the strongest side in the country championships competition. So we know it's going to be a very tough one.
After a scrappy win over the Central Coast, Coach Garth Brennan says he wants more connectivity from his Rebels, naming Isaiah Olsen as halfback in place of Sam Clune.
It was a tough decision, that one, but I just think with those connections in rep football, you don't get a lot of time, rep camps, you don't get a lot of time to build those combinations.
He's relying on Olsen to slot in alongside his fellow Butcher boys.
He obviously plays with Lockie O'Brien, the lock. He plays with Cameron Anderson, the fullback. Logan Radzovic is in the centres and Ethan Campbell's in the back row. So there's a real central connection there.
Something fullback Cameron Anderson says is promising ahead of the Newcastle Rugby League season.
Hopefully it's a sign to come that, once you start dominating the Rebels teams like this, it means that you're doing something right at your club level, and we'll keep tracking from there.
The Rebels take on the Rams at Cessnock on Sunday. Newcastle trainer Chris Lees is out to become the second person in his family to win the Golden Slipper. 48 years on from his father Max's victory, Chris has a strong chance in tomorrow's $5 million race, with the 2-year-old Rivellino unbeaten in 3 starts.
Very happy with him. He had a nice gallop on Tuesday morning, looks to have come through it well, so we can't fault him going into the race, but it's a good test and we'll see where we sit.
Jockey Hugh Bowman will fly in from Hong Kong to ride the colt. And a big weekend of sport ahead.
Looks that way. Thank you, Montana.
All right, thank you so much, Montana. Big day of weather, 4 seasons in one day. What's next? You'll find out after the break.
An evil cop.
He was nothing more than a criminal in a police uniform.
The master manipulator, whose torment affects her to this day.
A current affair next.
Easter's calling. Get out there and camp more with up to 50% off camp furniture from these great brands. Explore more ways to play and save this Easter. Play more and pay less at Anaconda.
ANZ Plus helps you get your money sorted so you can think about other things like the Roman Empire, needing to sneeze, Alaskan Malamutes, German techno, that actor from that TV show.
My name's David.
Your neighbour Paul. Oh, and you're missing bomber jacket. ANZ Plus has powerful tools that give you more confidence so you can spend less mind on money.
Ever heard a symphony like this? Now you can.
Join Energy Australia's Flexi Plan and get a $200 sign-up credit on your first electricity bill. Join Energy Australia online today or call 133 466.
Universities matter because of what matters to us, like crops that survive droughts and medical research. For more ways universities benefit us all, visit universitiesmatter.edu.au.
The Nick Scully Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. Ends Sunday at Nick Scully.
Unfortunately, something's gone wrong.
If a medical error has left you worse off, the world can feel like a lonely place. But Slater & Gordon's medical law experts could help you get the compensation you deserve.
Northern New South Wales football premier competitions are back this weekend. Catch a match live and enjoy all the action. Details at northernnewsouthwalesfootball.com.au.
Go Harvey Norman for big brand super deals on now. Westinghouse 8 kilo washers from just $587. Save $200 on this Electrolux pyrolytic oven, now under $1,500. Energy efficient Westinghouse French door fridge under $1,400. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
A help company would respond to the rise in extreme weather events by creating Help Nation, a nationwide initiative to help get communities prepared for them. So, that's what we're doing. NRMA Insurance, a help company.
Well, looking beautiful across the harbour at the moment after a day that pretty much delivered everything with that big rain band moving through, but that has cleared into northeastern New South Wales. Up until 9 o'clock this morning, it produced some good numbers right throughout the southeast, Victoria and southern New South Wales. It really became quite well structured as it passed over us throughout today, tapping into all of that humidity that has been sitting there, trying to link up with this tropical air mass, and there's been some lightning in there, a little bit of rumble as it passed over, but clearing nicely this afternoon. In behind it, we've got a little bit of a wind shift, but it's not out of control. A couple of showers will certainly be possible, but the big feature is what's going on throughout the interior. It has not been shaded out for a very, very long time, since spring, in fact, and that's why it's been incredibly hot, and that's why we've had this constant seesaw. Gets hot, the fronts move through, cools down slightly, but this is going to shade it out and cool Central Australia. And this time of the year, once it cools, it's very hard for it to warm back up again, because, as we know, last night we had the equinox with the sun passing over the equator back into the northern hemisphere. So a couple of showers potentially there for Sydney, but still quite mild. Showers for Brisbane. There it is, shading out and storms developing over Central Australia. Cool in the southeast, but beautiful from Adelaide to Perth throughout tomorrow. We've got that southerly moving in throughout tomorrow, so that is going to create a bit of an onshore influence, but you can see warming up right across the region. The risk of a shower, well, it is there. We may see a couple flick through with that southerly, but generally fine, and it's still actually going to be relatively comfortable. In fact, we're looking at temperatures fairly mild overnight, then warming up to about 27 degrees, so into generally the mid to high 20s, so it's not too bad for the weekend. For the coast, just a little bit of cloud and maybe just a little shower, a brief one moving through, and the same throughout parts of the suburban area inland. But you can see for the upper Hunter, generally fine. There may be some showers right throughout the far reaches of the Hunter, and potentially up to around 30 degrees tomorrow. Not much swell, quiet times, down to a metre, and a little bit wind affected with the southerly pushing through. Sunrise 6:56 down at 7:03, dropping to the low tide, getting there just after 9, about 9:12, and that swell direction out of the south for tomorrow. So a couple of showers, onshore winds, 1 or 2 brief ones there on Sunday, and again throughout next week. Looks worse than what it is. Generally fine, not too bad. Still quite comfortable. It's a mild looking week as we begin to wind down March. Relatively fine, but you can see now the days getting up and over 30, well, few and far between from here on in, and unlikely to see any for the Central Coast. Let's take a look at the throughout today. Well, it saw everything. It wasn't a bad morning, but then the lunchtime hour saw the grey matter move in and the showers push on through. We had the offshore winds actually flicking around as well, which just cleaned up that small swell. So, yeah, try and pick those wave magnet areas remaining fairly small again tomorrow. So a very interesting day today right across the region.
Thank you, Gav. That's the news. Good night.
What you're about to witness is a clash like no other. A battle of minds taking the world by storm.
It's the phenomenon sweeping the planet.
It's a heart-pounding roller coaster of knowledge, risk, and power. And guess what? Now, it's out.
Aussies face off in the world's biggest battle of minds.
The winner takes their opponent's territory. The loser goes home. Our next duel is dogs. Come on up.
Pug. Afghan hound. Beethoven. St. Bernard.
Light up the floor.
Who will conquer? And cracks. Under pressure. Take on your neighbour.
Oh, United States.
Japan.
Bolivia. No. Oh.
Steal their floor.
Wait, Paddy.
Build an empire.
Let's light up your floor.
What are you all scared of? Bring it on.
Australia, get ready to play.
Aussie Tucker, fashion icons. So many categories.
The game the whole world's hooked on.
This is the floor.
Coming to 9 and 9 now. 9 Now is your one stop for everything footy.
Season 25. Let's go.
The biggest matches every round. Streaming live and free. Full replays, extended highlights, mini matches, plus an unrivaled lineup of the best shows and podcasts.
It's a footy fan's dream.
All yours, live and free, 24/7.
9 Now.
9 Now.
9 Now.
Your home of free footy and so much more. 9 Now.
Hello, I'm Deb Knight. Welcome to A Current Affair. Big profits off our backs. That's what farmers say about our supermarkets, confirmed as the most profitable in the world. The long-awaited report from the consumer watchdog was billed as the great hope for long-suffering shoppers and farmers, but it felt like a great letdown. There was no knockout blow and no evidence of price gouging from either Coles or Woolies. And for farmers like Peter Hall, it's not good enough. Peter, hello to you. Our supermarkets are some of the most profitable in the world. This inquiry confirmed that. Are you seeing any of those profits?
No, we haven't seen those profits passed on to us at all. They've got complete dominance of the buying and selling of produce in Australia, and we basically receive whatever they think they need to give us.
So put it into perspective, because the profits of Coles, Woolies, even Aldi, they're going up. What do you get from your apples compared to what we as shoppers pay for them at the checkout?
We get roughly half of what consumers pay, and for that we have to transport it to the DC, we have to package it, we have to grow it for 6 to 8 months and then drop it off at their DC, and we only get half of what consumers are paying, where the supermarket basically has to take what we give them and bang it on the shelf.
So I'm paying $5 a kilo for apples at the moment. You're getting less than $2.50.
Exactly, yep. That's often the case. It does vary a bit. Sometimes it's even more than that. Sometimes the margin is greater, but it's often that, and that's probably what we're just totally frustrated with.
So you put your case to this year-long supermarket inquiry. You're a third-generation farmer. What did you tell them?
Well, we told them exactly that. Very reluctantly. I'm not an ACCC junkie. I don't want to go there and just talk because I enjoy it. We just thought we've got to go and tell them our story, and it's becoming unsustainable for the fruit growers and the vegetable growers in Australia. And here's the government. They've come up with this opportunity. Okay, let's tell them. So we told them what we were getting paid. We told them how the supply chain worked. We told them our cost basis and structure. And now the government have got the report. And I hear they haven't committed to any of the recommendations. Well, why did you have the inquiry? Move aside if you don't want to do it. Get someone else to do it. But we've done this a number of times, and again, it looks like they're not going to do much about it.
So do you feel like this has been a complete waste of time?
Well, sometimes I feel that. I mean, I'm an optimist. You've got to be an optimist to be a farmer. But sometimes I think they're just gaslighting us. And we're getting gaslit by the government. We're getting gaslit by the chain stores. I mean, have a look at their websites. They make statements like, we're all about eating and living better, or better experiences for a better tomorrow. It's total PR nonsense. There's no better tomorrow for growers. There's no better tomorrow for consumers. Here's a chance for the government to step in and do something about it.
So if you, Peter, could sit down with the CEOs of Coles or Woolies, what would you tell them?
Well, at the very least, even if they paid us no more for our product, just say that we didn't get any more and we didn't meet our cost of production, and they reduced their margin, consumers would get cheaper product. We would at least be able to sell more of our product because consumers would be able to afford more. That would be a good outcome. But I think we've got to sit down at a table with the chain stores and say, listen, here's what it takes to grow product in Australia. Let's look at your costs. It's so easy for them to just pass their costs down because they control both the buying and the selling. So if their costs go up, I think there's very little pressure on the chain stores to do something about their own business and fix up their cost base. They force that back onto us and then they make consumers pay for it. So can we sit around and talk about these issues and see if we can come to a better outcome for all consumers and growers and chain stores in Australia?
The inquiry has called for more transparency in prices and also in between suppliers and supermarkets too. That's going to be a good thing, surely.
Yeah, I think transparency and information. At the moment, the chain store space have all the information. Okay, so if there's some more transparency, I'll tell you what would work. Why don't they put on the ticket price, put how much they pay a grower for that product and let consumers see that they're doubling the price? I bet you their margin would shrink a bit if that happened.
Yeah, well, there's also a risk, isn't there, that shoppers will just end up paying more if the supermarkets have to do more. They'll pass those costs on and it's shoppers who'll have to pay.
Well, I mean, that's in their court. I mean, I think it's too easy for chain stores. If they can just determine how much they pay for a product and then put whatever ticket price they want on it, I don't think there's a lot of pressure on them to do better about their own business. I mean, they're big businesses and they're making a lot of profit. How do they make that profit? They determine what they pay and what they sell. They're making their profit off the backs of farmers and producers and other goods in Australia, and they're determining how much they make out of it. And if the report is correct, they're making a lot more than every other supermarket in the world. So we reckon this is a chance for us to get a fair shake of it.
Well, they're certainly making money, but we need to get that balance right. Peter, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
No worries. Thank you.
Bianca is a single mum of 4. She works long hours as a midwife to keep the roof over her family's head. But her life now is better than living with her ex-partner, because at the beginning of their relationship, things were good, almost perfect. In the end, it was a nightmare.
When you see this, what do you think? He's a policeman, a protector, trustworthy. But ask Tim Armstrong's ex-partner and she'll tell you at home this senior sergeant was evil and a master manipulator whose torment affects her to this day.
I remember at one point thinking, it just feels too perfect. But it was him pretending to be someone he wasn't. He was nothing more than a criminal in a police uniform.
Single mum Bianca had already left one abusive relationship, so when she met Tim Armstrong, the midwife tread carefully.
And one of the questions I even recall asking him was, how is a guy like you still single?
Tim had already been working for Victoria Police for 18 years.
I rationalised that he was a police officer and he had our best interest at heart.
So you felt safer because he was a police officer?
Yeah, I did.
And in reality, how did it turn out?
I've never known such evil.
After their profiles matched on a dating site, the pair started chatting, and the senior sergeant, who worked in the Transit Safety Division and the Ethical Standards Department, wanted to meet up.
We met at a cafe and, he seemed amazing. He had a good career, he was attractive, he seemed to have everything going for him.
What started as an equal relationship, she says spiralled into mental torture at the hands of a man she thought she loved and the father to her children.
He would go have outbursts of anger that would come out of nowhere, often over minor, silly things. My heart would drop when I'd hear his car pulling up in the driveway when he'd return from work. It's like, what's going to happen now?
Bianca now recognises a lot of Tim's behaviour as love bombing.
Just the cycles of really alternating between being really kind and helpful and normal, and then the rages.
I don't really like the term love bombing because it's anything but love.
Dr. Brian Sullivan has 20 years' experience rehabilitating perpetrators and educating in the domestic violence space.
outside to an observer, it might be very, very difficult to pick that up. Whereas the victim will know exactly what that means in the context of that relationship.
There were no photos of bruises. He was never physical. And it was at a time where coercive control wasn't even a phrase. So I didn't know how to explain what he was doing. So I thought, I'll record what he's doing.
Bianca started recording their conversations, which for legal reasons we can't broadcast.
It's actually really validating when you go back in time and you go, oh my God, why did I live with that for so long?
Were you scared when you pressed record?
Yeah. I was mainly scared because he's a cop, right? He's an undercover detective at some times.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I was like, is he gonna check my phone? Is he gonna find it?
Tim and Bianca had 2 children together. When Bianca was nursing their 5-month-old baby, she made a disturbing discovery.
One night, late at night, I was breastfeeding my daughter and I knocked the keyboard and that shuffled the mouse and that lit up the screen. He created fake profiles of me on adult websites purporting to be me. Without my knowledge or consent, he posted explicit photos of me.
Did you confront him?
Yeah, I did. At that point in time, he actually said to me, it basically happened because I didn't tell him I loved him enough.
Things can change very quickly. Then the coercive control starts.
It was like being a frog in boiling water, and you don't realise what's happening until the heat's turned up so high that you go, how did I get here?
Did you feel even more hopeless because the person you were trying to protect yourself from was a policeman?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the reason it took me so long to escape.
It took more than 2 years for Bianca to get out of the relationship. Ultimately, Armstrong pleaded guilty to a charge of using a carriage service to offend, sentenced to a 12-month good behaviour bond with no conviction recorded.
The whole court system, as I have seen it, is about actually protecting and minimising consequences to perpetrators.
So was it the playing of these recordings that got someone to tell you this is family violence?
Yeah. I want other women to do this as part of their documentation and of what's going on for them.
What we need to change is the beliefs that drive that behaviour.
Stories similar to Bianca's have been shared on There's No Place Like Home, a podcast by Nine's Future Women where victim survivors share their stories.
They have the ability to really lift the lid on what's actually happening, what the experience looks like for people.
Tara Ray Moss is the host.
And then those who are at risk or those who know people who may be at risk can identify the situation and the risk a little bit more easily.
Despite escaping the relationship, Bianca says her life will never be the same.
Now I'm a busy single mum. So between just trying to survive, try to raise children who are respectful human beings, that's my life.
Tim quit the Victoria Police Force after facing court for his offending. And if you or someone you know is experiencing sexual abuse or family violence, there is help. Call 1-800-RESPECT. That's 1-800-737-732. Juggling work and a household with 10 kids isn't easy, but Dave and Desiree always wanted a big family. For the past year, the two have been forced apart because their youngest son, Jonah, needs urgent medical treatment. All the family really needs is time together, so they needed some help. And you answered their call. A big, loving household full of chaos. Dave Mills, a self-employed tradie, is juggling work and solo parenting because his wife Desiree is on another mission with their youngest son, Jonah.
Our dream was to get married and have heaps of children. That's what we wanted out of our life, and we've been blessed with the most beautiful family. But it's tough now. It's really tough.
It's tough because Jonah has neuroblastoma, a rare childhood cancer. The 2-year-old is undergoing intense treatment in Sydney. living with his mum at Ronald McDonald House.
He has endured more than most people will ever have to go through in their whole entire life.
Meanwhile, Dad is holding the fort in Grenfell in rural New South Wales, 430 k's away. A Current Affair visited the family home, and while we were there, they received the most devastating news.
They found, hang on, sorry. They found some more cancer. Sorry, mate.
The Mills need to be together to spend as much time with Jonah as they can. Dave can't afford to take any more time off work to make the 10-hour round trip to Sydney.
Trying to go to see him as much as I possibly can, but that gets difficult as well because you've sort of all the kids as well.
You don't want to be spending your time working?
No, not if I can help it, because that time is crucial.
Yeah.
Because you never get it again.
Locals have dug deep to help the family be together, and so have you. When we asked for your support, once again, you didn't let us down. Thanks to your generosity, more than $170,000 has been raised. Money that will allow the Mills to spend Jonah's last months as one big family.
So these next few months are just crucial, right?
Yeah. Oh, very. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, try to spend as much time for him, sort of, to make some memories.
We need to be together, all of us.
It's such a difficult time, but this will be a tremendous help for the Mills. And late today, Desiree told us that her family was truly overwhelmed and appreciative of everything that Australia has done for them. We can't thank you enough. Up next, 60 years of secrets over the JFK assassination, finally revealed. But does it tell us anything new?
There are going to be surprises in there, but I just don't think there are going to be that many surprises about JFK's assassination.
Tiernan coming across.
It's the fabled rivalry.
Tommy Tiernan.
So many heart-stopping, mind-blowing moments. Now, the next chapter. Broncos, Cowboys.
What a game.
A Friday night showdown. Live and free on 9 and 9 Now.
3 million Australian households have just one meal a day. Millions of Australians are going without food. Children are going to bed at night hungry. The cost of living is hitting Australia hard. The cost of living is breaking Australian families. Australians should not go hungry in their own country. All Australians must accept responsibility for the catastrophe we are facing. Before you lay your head on your pillow tonight, say a prayer for our country and reach out to fellow Australians with compassion.
Authorised by N. Favager for the Trumpeter Patriots Gold Coast.
I've been using and recommending Wet and Forget products for years. Outdoors, they work a treat on moss and mould. But Wet and Forget have a heap of products to make your life easier. For shower and bathroom cleaning, you can't beat Shower Witch. Clean and sanitise hard surfaces with Wet and Forget Indoor. And get your view back with Window Witch. To see the entire range and find a store near you, visit wetandforget.com.au.
Wet and Forget.
Must cost you a fortune to cool this place, Glenn. Time to make the switch to solar.
You're the one that used to turn the lights off for extra training, AB.
Mate, just call Sunboost, Australia's largest solar retailer. Hello?
All right. Sunboost it is. But I'm not calling myself Green McGrath.
Make the Sunboost switch today with the mega-selling 6.6 kilowatt premium home solar system with top-rated Tier 1 panels for an incredible $34.91. Only till March 31. Call 1300 Sunboost.
Surrounded by the great outdoors, our home is made for the sunrise surfers, sunset yogis, and Saturday cyclists. At Chiropractic Plus, we believe that the right natural treatments can help you lead the active lifestyle you love, pain-free.
We've opened our doors at Warners Bay with 13 extra treatment rooms for chiropractic, massage, psychology, cryotherapy and laser therapy. Our brand new clinic is here to help more people feel good naturally.
Book an appointment with our friendly team today.
This is what pre-flight mornings look like around here. Doing the coffee run, not the M1. Finding yourself the perfect park. So go on, take your pick from over 250 flights a week from Newcastle Airport. Ah, that's the Newy way.
Go Harvey Norman for big brand super deals on now. Westinghouse 8 kilo washers from just $587. Save $200 on this Electrolux pyrolytic oven, now under $1,500. Energy efficient Westinghouse French door fridge under $1,400. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
Don't let heel pain hold you back. At the Good Feet store, we understand your pain. The good news is there's a solution that's changing the game. Good Feet Art supports a clinically proven relief from plantar fasciitis and the pain in the balls of your feet. Book your free personalised art support fitting today at goodfeet.com/au or drop into the Good Feet store and do your feet a favour.
The Nick Scully Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off selected living, dining and bedroom furniture. Save up to 50% at the Autumn Sale. And Sunday at Nick Scully.
Tipping Point's feel-good episode of the year. Monday at 5 on 9.
Welcome back. For decades, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy has stirred up conspiracy theories and mystery. Now, after 62 years, classified documents have been released under the order of President Donald Trump. So far, there's no evidence of a possible second gunman or CIA involvement. So why all the secrecy?
Dallas, Texas, the Arcade, the Book Depository, the Grassy Knoll, the President, the First Lady, gunfire. The assassination of JFK happened before the eyes of the world, from the shots to the news, which became a "where were you when" moment.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
But what happened on November 22, 1963 has been the subject of mystery and conspiracy for more than 60 years, with intrigue about a possible second shooter and even conjecture about CIA involvement.
My father was walking at the bottom of the hill with John McComb when I got home, who's the CIA director. My father said to him, "Did your people do this?" So his initial instinct was that the CIA had killed his brother.
Robert Kennedy Jr., the nephew of JFK and now a senior member of the Trump administration, recounting his father, Bobby Kennedy's suspicions back in 1963. After signing an executive order, this week President Donald Trump fulfilled an election promise, releasing tens of thousands of pages of previously unseen documents relating to the assassination of JFK.
The people have been waiting for decades for this.
There must be something really, really sensitive for them to redact a paragraph or a page or multiple pages.
Posted to the website of the National Archives, it set off a scramble as historians, journalists and amateur sleuths trawl the files for clues. The records are disorganised, some blurry and unreadable. Sifting through them will take time.
We have a lot of work to do for a long time to come, and people just have to accept that.
Experts, including the University of Virginia's Professor Larry Sabato, say the documents so far don't contain anything to change the current conclusion that a lone gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald, was responsible.
There are going to be surprises in there, but I just don't think there are going to be that many surprises about JFK's assassination.
So what did we learn? And why does the murder of a sitting president still stir up so much emotion? Well, many of the files had already been disclosed, but experts have found some interesting nuggets, including an Australian connection kept a secret until now. The files revealing there was a series of anonymous phone calls made to the US Embassy in Canberra before and after JFK was shot. The then ASIO boss asking the then CIA director to keep their investigation a secret. The files detail a phone call a year before the assassination from a man claiming to be a Polish chauffeur in the Soviet embassy in Canberra, where he claimed there was a plot to pay $100,000 to kill President Kennedy. Australian authorities considered the caller to be a crank. What the files may continue to reveal is more about the operations of the CIA and espionage in the 20th century. But the real reason why all of these documents were shrouded in secrecy for so long might just be a case of old-fashioned CYA.
Particularly CIA, to a lesser degree, FBI and some others, were engaged in CYA with this. They're covering their you-know-what, because they failed. There is no good reason why President Kennedy had to be assassinated. And if they had done their jobs properly and shared information with one another, President Kennedy probably would have served 2 full terms as president. They know it. They didn't want to admit it. They wanted to point the finger of blame at others. And for decades, they succeeded.
After the break, a long way from home, the family stranded with their preemie baby on the other side of the world.
I said no reasonable person would leave their baby overseas.
Letting go.
300 pairs of shoes
will open the door to what matters.
Oh my God.
New Space Invaders, Saturday on 9.
Go Harvey Norman for big brand super deals on now. Westinghouse 8 kilo washers from just $587. Save $200 on this Electrolux pyrolytic oven, now under $1,500. Energy efficient Westinghouse French door fridge under $1,400. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
Harris Scarf sale is on now. Save 40 to 60% off quilt cover sets and sheets, 40 to 60% off pillows, quilts and toppers, and 40 to 60% off towels. Sale ends Friday, March 21st. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
Could I do the Lucky Deluxe Ultra Wash, please?
Add some thrill to your wait with the thrill of a $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download the app now.
So, Robbo's dropping by later.
DeBricky.
Isn't he a mountain climber?
He's the real Iron Man.
He drives a BT50, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy your free trial, Mark.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
So, how'd it sound?
Loud and clear.
Turn up the volume on Life this Hearing Awareness Month. Book and attend an appointment by the 31st of March for your chance to win up to $1,000 in prizes every day.
From day one, what keeps our heart beating is finding joy. That burst of positive emotion that makes us feel alive. At Bolton Clark, we believe the potential for joy shouldn't diminish with age. It's at the heart of who we are and all we do, and has been since 1885. Bolton Clark, Australia's heart of positive ageing, celebrating 140 years, caring for Australians.
Join Energy Australia's Flexi Plan and get a $200 sign-up credit on your first electricity bill. Join Energy Australia online today or call 133 466.
Unlock unbeatable deals at your local Better. Score a bonus Better gift card up to $300 on selected fridges, TVs, washers, cooking and more. Plus, you can buy now, pay later at over 150 stores nationwide. Go local. That's Better.
Where to from here? Will your life ever be the same? Are you getting what's fair, not just what's offered? Talk to Slater and Gordon, and we'll take it from here.
Go Harvey Norman for up to 20% off HP and Asus computers. This lightweight HP laptop save $130. Asus VivoBook 15 with 1TB storage save over $300. HP Intel Core Ultra 5 laptop now $1,098 at Harvey Norman now.
Well, good.
girls and boys. It's been another very exciting day for our friend Big Dog. Lots of adventure and fun for everyone. But now it's time for Big Dog to say goodnight. Good night, Big Dog. Good night, girls and boys. Sweet dreams.
Tomorrow night, so much for Home Sweet Home.
Stranded in Scotland.
I'm desperate to come home.
With their preemie baby, Anderson.
We didn't hold him for almost a week.
His parents blame their travel insurer.
No reasonable person would leave their baby overseas.
They've thrown this couple under the bus.
Don't miss that story tomorrow. And that's our program. I'm Deb Knight. Thanks for your company. From the team, enjoy your evening.
This program brought to you by Telstra, wherever we go. Macca's Surprise Prize. Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win. The new Ranger plug-in hybrid. More power to you. Westpac, bringing the footy. Yui, official partner of NRL fans. And Harvey Norman, best brands, best range, best prices, guaranteed.
Premiership. Welcome to Friday night footy here at Brisbane Suncorp Stadium, located on the lands of the Yuggera and Turrbal people. James Bracey with you alongside Phil Gould and that man Jonathan Thurston. Evening to you, gents.
Brace.
Some happy memories there and the pinnacle of that unbelievable rivalry that is the Broncos and Cowboys, JT.
Oh, some of the best memories, obviously 2015 is right up there. Is my greatest memory on a rugby league field. Won a premiership with the Dogs, very young, and you think you're going to play in many more, but I was recruited to the Cowboys to help them win a premiership, and it took me 10 years to get it done, along with the boys, and yeah, my greatest memory on the footy field.
And here is that moment as he ices it in the Gavin point. Brilliant. And the celebrations go on forever. Now, there's a bloke that was in amongst that team that you're going to be catching up with in just a moment for us. So we'll let you go and find him.
I'll go and interview him,
and
mate.
We'll see you shortly, Jonathan, as he enjoys a big night here. Gus, we got you to do your homework on the back of this celebration, nearly a decade gone since that grand final. Your top 3 deciders of all time, because you've seen everything there is to see in rugby league.
Yeah, hard to narrow it down to 3. The 3 I've chosen have all got a lot of similarity, like the Cowboys beating the Broncos there. All 3 of them, it was their first ever premiership. Panthers in 1991, and they had to come from behind in the dying moments to beat a champion team in the Canberra Raiders. A very special time for the club. You know, you can win a lot of premierships, but the first is always the most memorable, and it was a magic day for the Panthers. In 1997, very similar again. The Newcastle Knights were underdogs against the might of the Sea Eagles, but in the dying moments, they come from behind with a Darren Albert try, Andrew John setting it up down the short side. Scenes of pandemonium break loose. And then the Cowboys, again, underdogs against the might of the Brisbane Broncos. Had they had a goal kicker and kicked the goal from the sideline, we could have got it done in extra time, without extra time. But it was magic the way it happened. The field goal after full time, he'll remember that forever. Cowboys remember it forever. The game will remember it forever. And it's probably the top pick of most people who pick their most famous grand final.
Yep, no doubting that one. Brilliant. I love going down memory lane with you, Gus, particularly with moments like that. 2 players here tonight playing that featured in that grand final back in 2015. One of those is Ben Hunt returning to the Broncos. We're going to discuss him in a moment. The other is Jason Taumalolo, and JT has run off to find him.
Jason Taumalolo, can you believe it's been 10 years since the 2015 grand final? Do you have a favourite memory, not from the grand final, but after that game?
Probably when we got back to the airport and seeing pretty much the whole of the city back there waiting for us to get back, and obviously the trip to the stadium and had everyone there. So that memory pretty much stands out. Apart from that, most of the other memories were a bit of a blur.
Backs against the walls tonight, coming down here. What do you want to see from yourself personally and the team?
Just for myself, I'm just happy to be back playing. You know, spent a bit of time last week playing reserve grade, but I feel better for it, and pretty excited to be back playing alongside the boys in a pretty big game in our calendar. So for the team, you know, lots been said during the week, but you know, if we can go out there and don't let the emotion get to us and just play the footy that we're capable of, then I think we'll be in for a good game.
Well, all the best, mate. Go get them. Over to you, Cam.
Thanks, JT. I'm here with Pat Carrigan, Paddy. Team got brought back down to earth a little bit last week against the Raiders. How have you bounced back during the week?
I think we just addressed it for what it was, to be honest. We missed our start last week, so it's a bit of a focus for us this week.
What about this clash? Always a big one. Expecting a big crowd again, over 40,000. What have you made of the Cowboys season so far, and how do you get the victory tonight?
Oh, mate, they're a quality outfit. Players all across the board, so I've seen enough of these games to know that form doesn't mean too much. So, yeah, it'll be exciting, but we just got to start well and put in the yards for 80 minutes and hopefully we get 2 points.
All right, mate. Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Cheers, brother.
Good on you. Over to you, Marley.
Thanks, Cam. Well, I'm joined here by Darren Lockyer on the sideline. Good evening, Lockie. It's been a bit of a mixed bag for the Broncos to start the season. The first round win against the Roosters, and last week, as Cam said to Paddy there, brought down to earth with that loss against the Raiders. The big conversation out of that has been Reece Walsh's performance. He'll be really disappointed with that. What can we expect from him tonight? What does he need to do, particularly coming out of the Westpac red zone, to make a difference and bounce back?
Well, I think getting involved and backing himself is really important. And one of the things a fullback can do when they're coming out of their trouble, we see the Westpac red zone here, they're coming out of trouble here, and it's keeping your eyes up and looking to see where there's opportunity. So instead of the forwards hitting up, if you've got numbers, which he does, he goes open, comes back to the short side because they've got an overlap there. And this is fantastic football. It's attacking from your own end, and Reece picks up a try on the back of this. So that's something I think you can keep an eye on tonight. I think he might be looking to do a bit more of that because it's lethal when he gets it going. This is the opposite end with the Westpac red zone. And instead of going his traditional out, he goes inside. Now, with his electric speed off the mark, like that defender there, he wasn't far off his assignment, but his speed off the mark is so dangerous. So I think when they're down in the good ball area, in that Westpac red zone area, I think he needs to be looking at more inside balls and using that speed.
Yeah, he'll certainly be looking to bounce back, especially in front of this sellout Brisbane crowd. Hey, James?
Good on you, Marley. Thank you, Lockie. So pressure on the player that is Reece Walsh, Gus. The coach on the opposing side, Todd Payten, his team's 0-2 to start the year, and already a bit of discussion about his future. Is it warranted?
Look, the media will do what the media does. The fans do what they do on social media. As a coach, as professional coaches, they ask their players not to concentrate on the result, but concentrate on the process. They've got to follow their own advice at different times. Todd Payten or any coach can't be allowing the players to think that he's making decisions, making selections or communicating in a way because he's anxious about his own position. Job security, you haven't got time for that, all right? It is what it is. The results will look after themselves. He's got to make sure he's focused on getting the players better every day and then responding to his coaching.
All right, he's got a big job ahead of himself tonight, trying to knock off the Broncos here in Brisbane. So let's hear from Todd Payten. He's live with JT.
Toddy, had a great pre-season. Did you see anything with this start?
No, to be fair. Not here to offer any excuses. We're here to do something about it today. So, yeah, it's disappointing, but we've got to fight.
What do you want to see out of your playing group tonight?
Yeah, we've spoken about being connected and having high energy. It's important that we don't tighten up, play each play for what it is, stay in the moment and, keep competing.
All the best tonight.
Thanks, mate. Go.
Thank you, Jonathan. Todd Payten there, close to kick-off here as his Cowboys take on the Broncos. Taking a look at this fascinating halves battle very soon that pits two of the oldest to ever combine against a 24-year-old State of Origin star. Plus, we're going to turn back the clock to the glorious 1980s and reflect on the incredible Eels-Dogs rivalry as we prepare for these two clubs to do battle one more time on Chemist Warehouse Sunday Footy here on 9. And before that match, make sure you join Emma Lawrence and the team for the Sunday Footy Show alongside legends Brad Fittler, Andrew Johns, Billy Slater, and this week's special guest, James Maloney, for Turn It Up, the award-winning segment led by Andrew Johns. Stay with us. We're live from Suncorp. This place heaving tonight for the Queensland Derby live on 9.
At Sportsbet, we're proud supporters of those who have a crack at starting a new hobby. Don't worry, it'll buff out. This clever fella had a crack at really training his dog. Who's a good boy? Have a crack at pronouncing Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Yeah, close enough. An old mate's having a crack at working out a new workout.
Everything burns.
At least when he wants to have a crack at the footy, he uses the Sportsbet app. Fast and easy. Sportsbet, proud supporters of having a crack.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
The new Hot Honey range has dropped at Macca's with the Hot Honey McSpicy, the Hot Honey Dipping Sauce, and the Hot Honey McCrispy. Embrace the drip at Macca's.
Taking contactless payments just got easier. All you need is your iPhone. Tap to pay on iPhone with Westpac EFTPOS Air.
So, Robbo's dropping by later.
He drives a BT50, right?
From 67,990 drive away, give it heaps in the new top-of-the-range Mazda BT50 SP.
So you think your carpet's really clean, the best that your street's ever seen, but do you really, really know what's going on down deep inside? Well, the cat's got fleas, it makes you sneeze, the carpet's getting dirty, the kids try out the baby, and the lounge is looking murky. Just because they look clean doesn't mean they are. That's why you need Electro-Dry. That's why you need Electro-Dry. Try Electro-Dry. Electro-Dry. Well, the cat's got fleas, it makes you sneeze, the carpet's getting dirty, the kids try out the baby, and the lounge is looking murky. Just because they look clean doesn't mean they are. That's why you need Electro-Dry. Try Electro-Dry. Electro-Dry.
I love having Red Energy on my team, and I think you will too. So if you want real Aussie energy, give Red a call today on 131 806.
G'day guys, Merv Hughes from Merv Hughes Fishing, here to talk about Tonic sunglasses. And guys, I got to tell you, any outdoor activity, I don't leave home without them. Love my fishing, estuary, out in the bay, blue water, whether I'm freshwater fishing, out on a lake. Wear these, they're like having X-ray vision. You look into the water, you can see stuff that you can't see with other glasses. So, Tonic sunglasses, Polaroids, they even do prescription. Love Tonics.
You can't escape it. You're faced with choices every day. The ones you make, or the ones you don't. Some choices are easy, and some not. All choices lead you somewhere, but the right choice takes you to where you're supposed to be. In truth, there's not one right choice for everyone. But whatever choice you face, we're here to help. Hunter Primary Care.
New Ranger plug-in hybrid. More power to play with 6.9 kilowatt pro power output. Order your new Ranger plug-in hybrid today.
The final night of commitment is television. That can't be missed. Sunday.
Oh my God.
Pre-match, brought to you by Macca's Surprise Prize. Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win millions of prizes.
Sterling goes the open side himself. Steve Mortimer goes from dummy half. He's put his foot down. Cronin's into a gap. Lamb gets away. Oh, the dummy by Kenny. And there it is to Anderson, who's on his way to the line.
We regularly talk about the people that have played before us and the past that this great club has and the success that it has as well.
Canterbury winners of the grand final. Parramatta have won the grand final.
It's important that we understand that we just play a small role in what is a large club with large reach and a long, rich history.
Everybody realises what a moment for Parramatta.
Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. They're a champion football team, there's no doubt about that.
Every time someone puts on the Bulldogs jersey, you know, we remember the past.
Being able to understand what it means to be a part of Parramatta and the rich history that is instilled in the club.
And look at these scenes of emotion as the Parramatta players hug and embrace one another. The huddles of embracement from the Dogs.
You know how important this club is in terms of history. You look at the 04 team, you look at the teams like from the 80s.
Is that the grand final gone? That's the grand final gone as far as I'm concerned.
How much it meant to them being a part of those teams in the 80s definitely resonated with us.
Parramatta are champions again. Canterbury Bankstown thoroughly deserve to be the premiers.
They were known as the Dogs of War, so now it's just for us to create our own legacy.
We try and live up to our position as best we can and move forward in the best way that represents the badge.
Well, Nine's Sunday footy set to be another chapter written in one of the game's great rivalries, the Eels and the Bulldogs. Gus, it's been a rivalry you've revelled in as a player, as a coach, as a commentator, and now as the general manager of the Bulldogs, and I bet you're pumped about Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those scenes you see there are 40 years ago, but there's been a lot of great games since then as well. They dominated the 80s with premierships, those two clubs, and every time they play, I say this every time, doesn't matter where they're running on the ladder, there is drama when Eel meets Bulldog. And they're coming here on Sunday at 4 o'clock on Channel 9. It'll be another great game. The history of these two clubs is unique. People who were fans of these two clubs in the 80s have had kids and now grandkids who are running around in blue and yellow and blue and white jerseys supporting their respective clubs. It's two great fan bases, expecting a wonderful crowd and a terrific game of football on Sunday. There will be drama.
Guaranteed?
Yeah.
I love it. Live and free from 3. Make sure you join Danica and the team for Chemist Warehouse Sunday footy. Now back on to tonight, and it's back to where it all began for Ben Hunt. Yes, a second coming here in Brisbane for the man, Dub Dozer.
Remarkable from Brisbane, and the stadium has come alive here at Suncorp.
You know, they were some of the best memories I ever had. You know, coming into the Broncos when I did, you know, there's guys like Darren Lockyer, Sam Thaiday, Corey Parker, Justin Hodges, like some really big names. And you know, I was just a young kid from the bush that was happy just to be around them. And when I finally got opportunities to play games with those guys, it was just a dream come true, you know. And I was just trying to soak it all in.
Lockyer, he sees that it's still on. Hunt straightens up, he's over.
When I first came in, I played a lot of games just off the bench in like that utility role, and sort of developed, I guess, into a halfback, and probably a lot lighter back when I started playing halfback, and a lot more energetic, probably faster than I am now, and probably just didn't take the game as serious. You know, I always competed really hard and gave my best, but I just went out and had fun. I feel like that showed in my footy. When I was playing my best footy, I was happy and just enjoying it.
Hunt holds it, goes himself now. Shows it goes, still going. He's almost there, that's a great try. Individual stuff by Ben Hunt.
That kind of changed a lot, I guess, when I went to the Dragons. I did find myself not playing great footy and got into some, you know, kind of some dark places in my head, and you know, wasn't the confident young guy that was just happy to play footy every weekend. Those little moments that, you know, creep in your head that you just want to give it all up and, you know, go back home and do something else. But I just knew deep down that I always loved the game. It's all I ever wanted to do, and you know, I found a way to come out the other side. I guess it was just something deep down inside me that always wanted to come back to Brisbane. I thought, you know, I'd finish my career down at the Dragons and in Sydney, and that'd be it. So, you know, to have the opportunity to come back here and, you know, finish my career, I guess, where it all started, there was always just that soft spot in my heart that was something I wanted to do.
Ben Hunt back in a Broncos jersey as a try scorer.
Well, it's certainly been a memorable career for Ben Hunt so far, and in just a couple of weeks' time, he'll crack the top 10 most amount of NRL games played by anyone. Lockie, he's been here for so long that he even played with you. What does that experience do for the Broncos?
Well, it brings composure and it brings calmness, and I think, you know, he's always been a competitor, Ben Hunt. I mean, tactically, what he brings to the Broncos is he brings a kicking game, which takes a lot of the workload off Adam Reynolds and makes it difficult for fullbacks when you've got two astute kickers on both sides of the ruck. He's a competitor, right? He competes on every play. You'll often see him when there's a ball that spills on the ground or someone's make a break. Ben Hunt will move to where the ball is. So he's a competitor. But lastly, but I think the most important thing, and we've touched on the 2015 Grand Final, he comes here motivated. He comes here motivated with unfinished business. So that's what I really like about Ben Hunt being back in a Broncos jersey.
Oh, I think we're going to see him pumped up tonight. Back to you, James.
Thank you, Marley and Lockie. JT has joined Gus and I at the desk. JT, from the Cowboys' perspective, if they're looking for some spark tonight against this Broncos side, they need to look no further than Scotty Drinkwater. He has been one of the shining lights so far this year.
Yeah, he had a really good pre-season drinky in the leadership group, and yeah, whenever the Cowboys are attacking, he's the main threat for the Cowboys, and usually the ball goes to him. But defensively is where the Cowboys really need to aim up, and it's very important for a fullback to be able to get your defensive line right, especially when you're defending your try line. So hopefully that's at the front of his mind.
Gus, the late news is no news. Both sides, 1 through 17 as per program. What are we going to get?
Yeah, well, it's a real test for the Broncos tonight. I mean, they were extraordinary with their scoreline in round 1 over the Roosters, but then as soon as they were stood up and challenged by the Raiders in round 2, they kind of capitulated. The Broncos like it all their own way, and that's really the recipe for the Cowboys tonight. They've got to get here right from the start and get stuck into them and not give the Broncos the sort of game that they want. If they're not like that, if they defend like they did in the first 2 games, well, Broncos love that. Flick passing, running, chip kicking, stepping, that's their game. But if you can get them down in the trenches and deny them a little bit of possession and get physical with them, well, then it's a different story. Tipping Bronco, but Cowboys, there's a recipe there for an upset.
It's the rivalry, Gus, that always produces, and we're about to realise that yet again. Friday night footy live and free on 9. We're at Suncorp for the first time in 2025, and after the break, it's kick-off on the wide world of sports.
Alex Glenn, welcome back.
It's good to be back, Sammy.
Mate, we've got the Broncos tonight at home against the Cowboys, and I want you to close your eyes just quickly and then look at the table and open it. Surprise fries!
Hey, there we go.
Surprise fries are back at Macca's.
Let's go.
What's going to be a surprise in this game?
Those all score 2.
He was my surprise off-season signing.
Ironic that it's 10 years since the 2015 Grand Final. What Hunty has done, he's over 300 games, plays for Origin, plays for Australia. It's unreal to have those back.
You talk about the halfback on the other team, and Tommy Dearden.
I knew he was always going to have a big career. He's very coachable, always asking how he can be better. And to see his transformation at the Cowboys, bro, I'm proud of him.
All right, Lex, final predictions. Who you got?
Broncos all the way. I reckon by 2 points.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Come on, boys.
Here's to those who have a crack at opening their own business out the back. Or the brave souls who have a crack at something other than butter chicken. And old mate's having a crack at working out a new workout.
Everything burns.
Hang in there, mate. At least when he wants to have a crack on the Sportsbet app, it's fast and easy. Sportsbet, proud supporters of having a crack.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
New Ranger plug-in hybrid. Power to tow with 3.5 tonne capacity. Order your new Ranger plug-in hybrid today.
Surprise Prize is in full swing at Macca's, and this week's Surprise Prize draw is a chance to win karaoke with Ricky Lee.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win millions of prizes.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I finished my evening shift and I came home and I received a call saying that Neil had had an accident, and I knew that our life had changed in that moment. So I hopped on, I started looking up public liability lawyers, and LHD lawyers were on there. They were no win, no fee, which we weren't in a financial position to pay for legal fees.
The money that we got awarded helped try to live, can't say a normal life, but a better life.
No win, no fee, LHD.
You can't escape it. You're faced with choices every single day. But whatever choice you face, we're here to help. Hunter Primary Care.
Deliver more with the world's #1 forklift brand. Get Toyota's legendary reliability. Get world-leading safety. Get more uptime. And give your business the Toyota forklift advantage.
Get the job done right every time with Taylor's Outdoor Power Equipment. Get the biggest brands and the best products from the experts, plus accessories, parts and service and repairs. So get into one of Taylor's 4 big locations or go online today.
You're the organised type, looking for a heating solution now. And it'll be easy to find your perfect match at Heating and Outdoors by Glendale Warehouse. Wood heaters, gas heaters and gas fireplaces. Friendly service, expert advice. 2 locations, Glendale and Thornton.
Get dirty. Get salty. Get adventurous. Get to O'Neill's Tyre and Auto Care for the legendary open country range from Toyo Tyres and go where others simply can't. Because if you've got wheels, you need O'Neill's.
Line up the floor.
Who will conquer? And who cracks? Under pressure. Take on your neighbour.
Our next duel is dogs. Come on up.
Pug. Afghan hound. German Shepherd. Chihuahua. Beethoven.
Steal their floor.
What are you all scared of?
Build an empire. Australia, get ready to play. The game the whole world's hooked on.
This is the floor.
Well, welcome back. Friday night footy live from the Cauldron. Yes, Brisbane the scene for the Queensland Derby. The Broncos taking on the Cowboys. Live and free here on 9. And our Huey fan vote, the results are in ahead of the big clash. And not surprisingly, the home fans backing their side tonight. South East Queenslanders must be on their mobiles this evening. But can the North Queensland Cowboys, after a bumpy start to the year, knock off the locals here tonight to